Today I'm going to discuss with you the parabolic motion, or in general we are going to combine two motions. Firstly, we will start our discussion with combining two constant velocity motions. In this part, we will take a look at the example of a boat crossing a river. And secondly, we will discuss combining the motion with constant velocity and motion with constant acceleration, which result in the projectile motion. Let us now take a look on this picture and this picture. The first one, we have a very still river, and the second one, we have a flowing river. Suppose you are going to cross the rivers. Will you arrive on the exact opposite side of the bank for those two situations without shifted along the direction of the current? In the first case, if we cross a very still river using a boat, the effect of the velocity of flowing water is very small, or we can say that it's zero. So at the end, we will arrive at the exact opposite side of the bank without shifted. So if you start at A, then you will arrive here at B. So if we start at A, we will arrive here at B. But in the second case, where the river is flowing, the velocity of the flowing water will affect the velocity of the boat, so that the boat will not arrive exactly at the opposite side of the bank. It will shift it. So if this is the boat, it will not arrive at this point, but here. Now, how can this happen? Well, here we see that the velocity of the boat will be added to the velocity of the river. But in order to understand this, we must see this velocity using vectors. And previously we have learned in the topic of vector that for the addition of vectors, we can use polygon method to add vectors. Now suppose we have a boat moving with a velocity 4 meters per second, perpendicular to the direction of the flowing water. And the velocity of the river is here 3 meters per second. And if the width of the river here is 80 meters. Now let's find the time needed to cross the river. And secondly, what's the shifted horizontal distance from the initial place of the boat? The velocity of the boat is 4 meters per second, perpendicular to the velocity of the river. So if we add the velocity of the boat and the velocity of the river using a polygon method, this is the velocity of the river, 3 meters per second, we will get the total velocity here, or the resultant velocity is 5 meters per second, since these two velocities are perpendicular each other. So now the boat will be traveling in this direction, and it will arrive at this point. And now we are asked to find the time needed to cross the river like this, and also the horizontal distance from here to here. Well, actually, in this case, we can see, or we can treat the motion of the boat separately. So to find the time needed to cross the river, we can see that the width of the river is 80 meters, and this distance is traveled by the velocity of the boat, 4 meters per second. So we can calculate the time needed to travel to cross the river is 80 meters divided by 4 meters per second, so that you get 20 seconds. Or if you calculate with this distance, you will get the same number, because the distance is longer than 80, and you can find that 100 meters. So if you calculate using this distance, the time needed to cross the river is 100 meters divided by the velocity along this direction, and that's 5 meters per second. So you will get 20 seconds. Now to find the horizontal distance from here to here, we see that this distance is affected by the velocity of the river, and it's 3 meters per second. So if the boat is moved by the river in this direction, and its velocity is 3 meters per second. Now for 20 seconds, the horizontal distance for the boat will be 3 meters per second times 20 seconds, and you get 60 meters. There is a good website for you to study about the boat crossing a river, and you can see from this website, and from this website you can play around with the boat, so you will understand. Here you can play with the velocity of the river, and also you can play with the velocity of the boat, and here you can find the total velocity. So basically what I'm telling you in the first part is that we can observe the motion composed from two motion with constant velocity separately, and this is the basic idea for the second part, where we will study about the parabolic motion.